We begin tonight with a contentious hearing today on Capitol Hill. Senators facing off with the chief executives of Meta, Discord, Snap, TikTok, and X, all answering uncomfortable questions about their platforms as the families of people harmed by social media listen closely. Senators are demanding big tech do more to safeguard children who often get hooked on apps and online sites. Lawmakers also focused on the addictiveness of social media and its impacts on children's health. Congress wants to pass more protective legislation and make it easier for parents to sue tech companies, regulations which the companies are against.
Do you support removing Section 230 liability protections for social media companies?
I believe that Section 230 needs to be updated. It's a very old law.
Do you support repealing it so people can sue if they believe they're harmed?
I think that Section 230, as written, while it has many downsides, has enabled innovation on the internet, which I think has largely been.
Thank you very much. So here you are. If you're waiting on these guys to solve the problem, we're going to die waiting.
You've got families from across the nation whose children are either severely harmed or gone, and you don't think it's appropriate to talk about steps that you took? The fact that you didn't fire a single person? Let me ask you this. Have you compensated any of the victims?
Sorry?
Have you compensated any of the victims? These girls, have you compensated them?
I don't believe so.
Why not? Don't you think they deserve some compensation for what your platform has done?
All right, some fiery words right there. Shortly afterwards, at the request of Senator Hawley, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg stood up and apologized to the families who have accused the social media giant of not doing enough to stop harm to their children. Besides repealing Section 230, the panel has already advanced multiple bills, including one that would bolster reporting requirements to a cyber tip line. Lawmakers also want to establish a commission to prevent online child sexual exploitation. And for more, let's bring in Michael Toscano, Executive Director of the Institute for Family Studies. Michael, thanks so much for coming on today. We appreciate it. This really is nothing new. I mean, we have seen this before, big tech companies testifying before Congress about online safety precautions for their sites, yet no significant laws to protect kids have been passed by Congress recently. So, why have these hearings? What's the point of this?
That's a great question. Well, I think one effect of having these hearings, and I think this effect is growing and the pressure is increasing. So you described these hearings as contentious, but one thing that you will notice is that it's not contentious between Republican and Democrat senators. So there is a tremendous amount of political value, I should say, in addressing this issue. The effect that these platforms are having on our kids, which is now proved to be devastating, terrible. Everything that was said by these senators at the hearing, that is a rallying point. And I think, God willing, it will be enough to finally get something passed to address this issue.
Yeah, it's nice to see that bipartisan support for sure. I wanted you to listen to this. This is Mark Zuckerberg, and this is what he said about social media and mental health.
Mental health is a complex issue, and the existing body of scientific work has not shown a causal link between using social media and young people having worse mental health outcomes. Still, we're going to continue to monitor the research and use it to inform our roadmap.
Michael, your reaction to that?
It's a shame that Mark Zuckerberg is claiming that research doesn't show the connection between social media use and the mental health problems among adolescents, because Meta, Facebook's parent company and Instagram's parent company, has its own research that has been released to the public, which shows that they know very well that there is a connection there. And it's not just Meta's research, but it's our research at the Institute for Family Studies, a colleague of ours at the University of San Diego State, Jean Twenge, and Jonathan Haidt at NYU. A number of scholars, even Vivek Murthy, U.S. Surgeon General, are coalescing around utter confidence on the effect that these platforms are having on the mental state of our kids. And that utter confidence is that what we are finding is that they are driving terrible things: despair, suicide ideation, general anxiety, and so on and so forth, litany of woes. And so I think, just to be frank, Mr. Zuckerberg is wrong, and he might even be lying, given the fact that his own company has done its own research.
Yeah, and if you're a parent, you know that very well, too. What do you think needs to happen to make social media sites and apps safer for kids, and what can we parents do?
Well, I think parents should remain highly vigilant and engaged. But right now, what they should be doing more than anything is that they should be calling their legislator, and they should be explaining in detail the effect that this is having on their kids. What needs to happen now is that parents, who are the chief guardians of children, need to be given more power over what their kids are seeing and doing online. One of the big problems here is that because of the secretiveness of these platforms on the devices, is that parents are just cut out. And whatever parental tools are provided to them are useless, or they're opaque and difficult to use. So what's needed now is either for the industry to actually cough up some serious tools to give these parents to do something about it, or lawmakers need to do to force them to do that.
Yeah, so much more we can talk about, but we got to leave it right there. Michael, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate your insights.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.